David Ozio didn't start till he's 16. That's one of the latest beginners. But you need a dedication to the game and practice, and both these players practice over 100 games a week besides the tour.
Hey, come on, David!
Hands and thumb, in particular, taking a tremendous beating. Big shot by Ozio. We're all even. Voted by Jeannie Halsey in the center with her 2 children, and Jeannie contributes more to charity than I think any bowling establishment in America. Over the years, over 120,000 to the Scottish Rite Crippled Children's Hospital, and that's right here in the area. And it's great contributions.
You're right, Chris. As proprietors of this bowling center, has had 13 tournaments.
And again, McCordic with a 3, 6, 10.
One thing to watch for in today's championship round, and I think league bowlers should be very aware of this, as they bowl, the oil or lane conditioner, now we told you here we apply at 42 feet this week on the Professional Bowlers Tour, carries down. The ball actually carries it towards the pins, picks up some on the ball. So the lanes will actually start hooking less in the next couple of matches than what we've seen so far today.
Pete applying a little hip action at the line. As we're all even, you can look at it right there. This is the first match.
Pete McCordic used to tie matches. Chris, he's been involved in 4 championship round ties, and he is the only player to tie for a championship in 1973 in Detroit. He tied with, 83, tied with Brian Voss.
Okay, the man that had to wait 15 years to win his first PBA title. Remember when he rolled a perfect 300 game worth 100,000, he did not win the championship.
The release of McCordic. Watch the action if he drives through that pivot step. Now watch that wrist roll right underneath the ball. Great shot, a little bit loft over the foul line, and that's where the power comes from. You see how solidly hit the line. Now here's Ozio to take the lead.
All but the 10.
Chris, he almost got that shot. He came in light, and the ball just slashed the 5-pin out. The head pin went to the sideboard, and all he has to do is get over here by the 10-pin, knock that down very simply. And it was interesting, really, how the head pin almost took that 10-pin out.
All right. You mentioned Forum Lanes and Jeannie Halsey. They have a Texas Youth Scholarship Fund. The Quaker State Tournament has contributed over $50,000 to that. Since September of '88, $169,000 to 2,820 Texas youth scholarship money.
That is great.
You'll recall David opening with a double, and now as we get near the end, he's starting to really sock it into the pocket. But McCordic has a 1-pin lead, can increase it to 11 with a strike in the 9th.
Wife Susie looking on, obviously rooting. McCordic, if he can strike, as you said, Chris, can increase that lead to 11. He could shut out Ozio if he strikes all the way out.
Boy, did he crank that shot at the line.
Really wanted it, went for a little extra, and he's had some problems on the right-hand lane. Lane 40 has been high in the 7th frame, in the 5th frame, and crosses all the way over to the left side of the head pin, leaves the 5-9 spare, somewhat of an unusual spare for a right-hander. And now the match is just up for grabs, but the first order of business for McCordic, as you look at that full grip urethane bowling ball, is to make the spare.
It's been a while since we've seen the 5-9. Nelson Burton's tip of the week today will be a great lesson on how to cover that 7-pin.
7-pin, the key pin for converting all left side spares. Everything works off the 7. Right now, this young man has a 1-pin lead, 10th frame. As I said, he's been in 4 roll-offs in a championship round. He has only won 1 time in those 4 roll-offs. We haven't had a tie so far this year. It could happen today.
He ran that one out as the pin danced off the deck.
Tell you, talk about players being in the match. Ozio was up asking for a re-rack, not even realizing it was the 10th frame for Pete McCordic. And really, that's the type of concentration you need. He's looking at the scoreboard. He says, my goodness, there are 10 frames in this game. Up for grabs as McCordic now is asking for a re-rack and taking a little time to get his composure. He could shoot a 227 and would force Ozio to strike in the 10th and 11th. Anybody's match.
You ever ask for a re-rack just to catch your breath?
It's not a bad idea, Chris, but sometimes it backfires. I think the moment itself carries itself, and just go ahead and fire it. This is instinct right now. If I could get that result, I would.
Oh, yes.
You know, there's a danger in that, and I've seen it happen before. Players lose track of how many re-racks they have. If you take that 4th re-rack, you get 0 for the frame. He'd have shut himself out.
Good point.
227, the best possible score for McCordic. Ozio can still take the match.
With a 2-8, McCordic grabs his head like 225 for McCordic.
And the 225, and the reason he's shaking his head is you see the 2-8 allows Ozio to only get 1 strike and 9 spare for a tie. If he had gotten a 9 count instead of an 8 count, he would have forced Ozio to strike twice. So for David Ozio, he must strike on this ball and 9 spare for a tie. 2 strikes in a row for a win.
How these professionals meet the challenge of pressure. Oh.
Chris, you are so right in that. And unless you've been to a professional bowling tournament, you see the reaction in the eyes. Look at the concentration. Never even blinked. Never looked off his target. He has to have this strike. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Just saws that 5 out. I was saying, if you've never been to a professional bowling tournament in your area, do yourself a favor. It's just amazing how good today's talent is. Now for Ozio, 9 spare, it's a tie. 8 is a loss. A strike is a win.
Capacity crowd here at Forum Lanes watching this shot with you. Oh, a high hit.
Loser.
3, 6, 9, 10. And it is McCordic who will move forward. It's $5,500 for David Ozio. Professional Bowlers Tour will continue after this.